Grip strength decline. Scientists discovered that how hard you can squeeze something with your hand predicts how long you will live, sometimes more accurately than blood pressure. Researchers tracked over 140,000 people across 17 countries and found that for every 5-kilogram drop in grip strength, the risk of death from any cause rose by 16%. This is because grip strength reflects total body muscle mass and nervous system health. If you struggle to open jars, carry groceries, or twist a doorknob compared to a few years ago, your body may be losing muscle faster than normal aging accounts for. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it often begins silently in your 40s. But here is the problem. Most people blame this on simple clumsiness instead of recognizing it as a measurable biomarker doctors now use to predict frailty, falls, and even cardiovascular events years before they happen. Walking speed changes. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh found that walking speed alone can predict survival rates as accurately as a full medical exam. A speed below 0.8 meters per second is linked to significantly higher mortality risk within the next decade. This is because walking requires coordination between your heart, lungs, muscles, and brain simultaneously. When one system weakens, your pace naturally slows down, often before you even notice. The real danger is that people adapt without realizing it. They take shorter routes, avoid stairs, or rest more often, masking the decline instead of addressing it. Geriatric specialists now use a simple test called the 4-meter walk to estimate biological age more accurately than a birth certificate ever could. If you're finding this information valuable and want to protect your health as you age, please take 1 second to hit the subscribe button. It helps our small channel create more animated guides just like this one. Skin elasticity loss. Your skin contains collagen and elastin fibers that naturally break down with age, but rapid loss signals something deeper happening inside your body. A study published in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology found that accelerated skin aging often correlates with chronic inflammation, sun damage, and even insulin resistance. This is where it gets worse. Skin is the only organ you can see in real time, making it a window into what is happening with organs you cannot see. If wrinkles, sagging, or thinning appear faster than expected for your age group, internal markers like blood sugar and cortisol may already be elevated. Dermatologists call this phenomenon a visible clock that often runs ahead of your actual biological timeline. Memory lapses that go beyond normal. Forgetting where you placed your keys is normal, but struggling to recall conversations from earlier that day or repeating the same question multiple times may indicate accelerated cognitive aging. The Alzheimer's Association reports that subtle memory changes can appear up to 20 years before a formal diagnosis of dementia. This is because brain shrinkage, particularly in the hippocampus, begins quietly and gradually disrupts memory formation. The real danger is that people often dismiss these signs as stress or lack of sleep. Neurologists now recommend tracking patterns over months rather than single incidents, since consistent decline rather than occasional forgetfulness is the true warning sign worth taking seriously. Poor sleep quality. Aging naturally changes sleep architecture, but fragmented, shallow sleep that leaves you exhausted every morning may signal faster biological aging. A landmark study from UC San Francisco found that people with poor, deep sleep had brains that appeared significantly older on imaging scans compared to peers with healthy sleep cycles. This is where it gets worse. During deep sleep, your brain clears out toxic proteins linked to neurodegeneration. When that process is disrupted night after night, waste builds up instead of being flushed away. Chronic poor sleep has also been linked to faster telomere shortening, the protective caps on your DNA that determine cellular aging speed. Visible vision changes. Struggling to read fine print, increased sensitivity to glare, or difficulty seeing at night are not just inconvenient symptoms. Ophthalmologists note that the eyes are lined with blood vessels nearly identical in structure to those in your brain and heart. This means changes in your vision can reflect changes happening throughout your entire cardiovascular system. But here is the problem. Conditions like macular degeneration and cataracts often develop silently for years before symptoms become obvious. Researchers have even found that retinal blood vessel patterns can now be used by artificial intelligence to estimate a person's biological age with startling accuracy, sometimes years ahead of standard testing methods. Joint stiffness and inflammation. Waking up with stiff joints occasionally is normal, but persistent stiffness, lasting more than 30 minutes each morning, may indicate systemic inflammation, accelerating your aging process. This is known as inflammaging, a term researchers use to describe chronic low-grade inflammation that silently damages tissues throughout the body. Studies show that elevated inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein are strongly linked to heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. The real danger is that this process often produces no obvious symptoms until significant damage has already occurred. Rheumatologists warn that ignoring persistent stiffness as simple wear and tear can delay diagnosis of conditions that are far more serious and far more treatable when caught early. Unexplained fatigue. Feeling tired after a long day is normal. Feeling exhausted after a full night of rest is not. Persistent fatigue, despite adequate sleep, is one of the most overlooked signs of accelerated aging, often tied to mitochondrial decline. Mitochondria are the energy factories inside your cells, and as they weaken with age, your body simply produces less usable energy. Research published in Cell Metabolism shows mitochondrial efficiency can drop by as much as 10% per decade after age 40. This is where it gets worse. Unlike muscle or skin, you cannot see mitochondrial damage happening, which means by the time fatigue becomes noticeable, the decline may already be significant, making early lifestyle intervention critical before symptoms worsen further. If you want to understand how your body actually works as you get older, subscribe to the channel so you do not miss our next visual manual. Also, let me know down in the comments which of these myths surprised you the most, or if there is a specific longevity trend you want us to look into next.